So today we're speaking with Brett Larrick from Columbia Chemical, which will be exhibiting at Surfin in June in Rosemont in Chicago. And he's going to be talking a little about the products they're going to have on display at their booth, and also some newer products that they're going to be working on that you might be seeing very soon. So Brett, thanks for joining us.
Yep. Thanks for having me here, Tim. It's good. Good to be part of this. It's always good to be part of Surfin and things coming up too, especially coming up in Chicago. So
yes, definitely. Yeah, for those, I was going to say, for those who may not know, give us a little bit of history of Columbia, and what are you all really focusing on right now?
Yeah, so Columbia was we started back in 1975. We've grown through the years of some specialty chemicals within the metal finishing industry. In the early years, we focused on zinc and zinc related products. We've grown our product line over the years to developing everything within general metal finishing, from zinc, alloys, decorative plating, some other functionals as far as tin and the alloys go with that as well. So most of what was considered in general metal finishing is what we offer. One of the things that truly separates Columbia Chemical on things is we are an employee owned. We're 100% ESOP company. So it creates a different culture, a different way of doing things on things that we're quite proud of having that culture here at Columbia.
Right, definitely. Yeah, you said with the show coming up, I know there's a couple products that you all are going to have there, and a couple literatures that attendees should definitely stop by. You guys, have some technical talks and everything, but tell us a little bit about what when people coming to your booth, what they're going to see, what are some of the products that you really want them to know about.
Yeah, so one of the things that truly drives Columbia Chemical and the innovation here, a lot of it is the regulations on things. And automotive is a big portion of the metal finishing industry. And there's a lot of things happening within that and changes. Speaking of some of the regulations within hexavalent chrome and within hexavalent chrome and the PFAS related issues. So they're truly driving some of the changes away from hexavalent chrome decorative plating over to trivalent chrome decorative plating. And it's moving pretty quick. Trivalent chrome plating's been around for over 25 years, and it's gone through a number of revisions, a number of improvements and advancements in it. One of the latest ones in the industry, our trivalent chrome TriCOL Reclaim process, our reclaim process. It's been one of the innovations on things. We knew as this changeover comes from hexavalent chrome plating to trivalent chrome plating, we weren't going to be able to just come out with Me Too type chemistry on things. We needed to be able to raise the bar, and raising the bar of things one of the big things is it being a chloride-based system, which is what the automotive and the industry is truly asking for, as opposed to some of the sulfate-based systems. Being able to offer that true white deposit, because one of the biggest issues are in the field when you're have the possibility in the supply chain of moving from the hexavalent to the trivalent chrome, a part that's plated in hex meeting up with a part that's sitting against a trivalent chrome, and having that difference is an issue, and we've been able to overcome that issue with the reclaim process, and also with having a superior corrosion protection on it. It's obviously a big concern. It's got to look right, but it also has to perform in the field correctly. And the reclaim process offers superior corrosion protection in a number of the different attributes that they do the testing with. And lastly, the biggest key with it is the cost. One of the problems with trivalent chrome over the years has had the reputation of it's more expensive to operate compared to the hexavalent. With the reclaim process, we're able to reclaim the drag out, the post part of the process back into the plating bath without any long-term detriment or long-term effects, buildup of counterions that may happen with some of the older technologies that would either affect the appearance, affect the plating speed, affect the performance of the part. That doesn't happen with it. And by reclaiming the process back in using it again, it certainly lowers the cost, comparable, if not lower than what hexavalent chrome is today. And one of the things that we truly pride ourselves on, with the development of these types of chemistries, we live, eat, and breathe by the saying of simplifying surface finishing. And everything that we do here at Columbia Chemical revolves around making it easier for our customers to do their business. And with the development of the reclaim process, it certainly makes it easier for them to operate. It's the additives are liquid based, so we can set them up on feeder pumps so that it's very controllable and consistent. And we've made it easier with this process for our customers to do that type of business.
Right. Yeah, it's funny that one of the biggest things I hear from platers is speed and cost is the reason for the conversion. But I know that your product seems to be like a 40 to 60% reclaim of some of those. So and I know that probably came. I know you all were you listen very well to your customers a lot, which is why I think you all tend to innovate very well, better than hardly anybody in the industry. Was that sort of driving that? Was that the cost factor of getting it into something that would really be no issue then for someone to do a conversion?
Absolutely. So as the industry's getting more regulated on things, and the changeover it needs to happen from the hex to the tri. Cost was always an important factor, as well as the performance and the plating speed on things. A number of these plating lines, whether it's a return line or not, they have a certain availability for the decorative, the chrome plating area, and it needs to be able to be a drop-in replacement for it. And the plating speed is quite comparable to the hexavalent. So.
Right. Yeah, and again, one thing everybody kind of knows about Columbia, you all are very attached, very involved, I should say, in the automotive industry. You and Mark Chario are very involved in the manufacturers, which is good too, because you all, I think, can see down the pipeline what they're asking finishers to use, and so I think then I think you all go back to your labs and start defining and coming up with those products. So I think that's very helpful to you all.
It is defining what, first understanding what they need out of the system, what the specifications are going to be. And that was one of the hard parts of truly understanding. And for them to make this changeover, we worked quite heavily with the automotive. We did a massive test matrix of different thicknesses of chrome, different types of deposits, so that they can understand and the industry could understand how trivalent chrome reacts differently than hex or similar to hex. And so that when the changeover happens and they begin to change things over, they understand what the specifications are as far as what's needed with trichrome. So.
Right.
Yeah, we absolutely listen to them, and Mark Chario has done an amazing job of working with them on
right. That. And I think that's the biggest key, is to get the OEMs to accept this product and get it to understand that, but also getting the end users to understand that it's like you said, the cost isn't as what they that misnomer that it's going to be an expensive proposition to do this. It really isn't if the right chemistry.
And Tim, we've got experience, and the industry has experience of trivalent chrome on automotive or at least heavy truck industry. Trivalent chrome has been used on bumpers and smokestacks for the heavy truck industry for 25 plus years. So it's obviously new to the traditional automotive, but it's something that's been out on the road, out in the field, and we know quite a bit about it. So while it is a change, and change is scary, it's a confident change that we're able to do this.
Right. And aside from the TriCOL Reclaim, a lot of other products you are going to have available for people to talk about. Your experts will be there to kind of walk them through any questions they have at the booth. And booth 720, I believe, is going to be at. So people should definitely stop by and have those conversations.
Yeah, so you mentioned this show being in Chicago, and it's a great central location. In this show, this time period is probably one of the most important for the applicators, the plating shops to attend. There's a lot changing in the world right now with the introduction of the electronic vehicles. We've all seen the commercials. We all know what's happening. 5-10 years ago, the consensus was that's never going to happen. Well, it is going to happen. The changeover is going to happen. And it creates a lot of changes, a lot of challenges within the metal finishing industry. The electronic vehicles use different base metals, different components that react differently with deposits. And there's an opportunity for a lot of the higher quality coatings, the movement to zinc nickel, when you've got the base metals that meeting a steel plate up against an aluminum plate or a magnesium-based plate or a carbon fiber alloy plate. It creates different challenges. It's going to the battery packs themselves and the connections and the terminals create different challenges within the coating industry. And for them to come to surf in, to hear some of the talks, to hear some of the advancements, and to understand what's happening in the industry, so that they can make some educated decisions on what their growths and what the opportunities are in the metal finishing industry. So, we're promoting some of the finishes, the zinc nickel finishes that will continue to grow as they have in the past years, especially with the electronic vehicles. It's important for them to come and see what's happening in the industry.
Right. And I think one thing that Columbia Chemical is known for is, to have someone do a conversion. You all offer them very good, service. And I see a lot of your techs and reps, a lot of the regional conferences and stuff, where they're very much there and really willing to help customers all the way through the process.
Yeah, and a lot of that goes back to what we stand for within simplifying surface finishing. In our group out there, our field reps, our laboratory people, they're very educated, they're very well trained within things, and our whole goal is to make it easier for them to do business. So if we're on site, whether it's conversion or troubleshooting, and whether it's the laboratory of getting the analytical reports out in timely and a correct fashion, everything we do is there to make it easier for them to do business. And those people out in the field, they'll be there at the show to be able to answer a lot of the questions that people may have on things. But it's a nice opportunity for them, right, to come and see.
And as you mentioned, like I said, so much changing in automotive, it can be daunting. But like I said, there are people like you all who are really there to help and really educate and to keep finishers ahead of the curve and know what's coming and what they should be expecting with that. So that's like I said, especially with the automotive, which it seems to be moving very, very quickly with things.
And one of the other interesting products that we're introducing is the cobalt-free technology. Passivates over zinc electroplating. Traditionally use Trivalent chrome, and they use passivates there as well. And in that passivates, cobalt is primarily used. And with the electronic vehicle market, what's happening in the cobalt market, cobalt was listed on the restriction hazardous substance list a number of years ago. It got taken off that list, strangely enough, when the electronic vehicle and the batteries that use the cobalt began to grow in popularity. I'm sure it's not a coincidence. But now with the price of cobalt being as expensive as it is, it's rejuvenated the research and development in the cobalt-free alternatives for the passivates. And we've released a number of them. We've got some out in field testing. We've got some out in field use. And it's one of the product lines that continue to grow for us as well. So
great. And like I said, a lot of information we've talked about, but people can go to columbiachemical.com, read a lot about the products, jot down any questions, then come and see you all at the Surface Show, and you all will provide answers with them and really be willing to help. So that's great.
We'll be there for them.
Okay, great. Brett, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in Chicago.
Great. Looking forward to seeing you, Tim. Thanks.
Thanks. Mm-hmm.
All right, bye-bye.